Okay, we're back here. We're live again, and I just keep screwing up with this internet stuff. And so I'm gonna keep doing it. I know a lot of people are frustrated with these internet problems. Hey, fart magnets! It is really frustrating when I have internet problems. In this case, it was actually my fault because I turned on the wrong mode. I forgot to fix it, I forgot to change it before I went live, and that's why it ended. But in general, it's really frustrating. Very frustrating when I have internet problems and I need to get some sort of I don't know, maybe someone to help me and set I don't know, do some sort of organized thing because hey Kevin, hey Rosemary, because I am really just I'm kind of messing things up with these internet stuff, and I want to be consistent and have this going on, not as a choppy thing. Hey, hello Nate, hello Raymond. And so I'm gonna find this on YouTube. Just a second. Every time I go live and it shuts down, each time I get less and less, fewer and fewer viewers, because let's make sure that this is, because people have already watched it and shared it and they think it's over. So when the new one comes, they're just like, oh, this is the same one. So they don't actually check it out. So Kevin is saying, move to South Carolina. We have great internet. So actually, I plan on coming to South Carolina soon to come and visit my friend Daniel. And we're live again. Hey Daniel! Is Richard Spencer on TikTok? It would actually be very interesting if he was. Richard Spencer, I did not realize that Richard Spencer has been going on CNN. I had no idea that I didn't know that this was a thing, but apparently it's a thing. Richard Spencer goes on CNN to talk about Trump. And so in case you don't know about Trump tweets, Trump tweeted about Yellin Omar and a few other members of Congress. So in case you're wondering what the controversy, by the way, I talked a lot about not going back to politics and not talking about politics. There are reasons why I didn't want to talk about politics. It seems like a lot of people want me to talk about politics, and I actually want to talk about politics. This is my favorite topic to talk about. There are so many interesting things that are going on in Washington, D.C., in media, and just in cultural stuff. Everything is tied to politics, and it's fun and exciting, but there are a few things that really bother me. It's that I feel like I'm constantly being stuck in a corner with other people, expected to parrot what other people say, and I don't like, when I'm around other people, I feel like I'm constantly taking up the identity of other people, and I don't like that. I want to be my own person with my own beliefs. I don't want to be stuck with this, because I don't want to have a label. Aside from it being oh no, I don't want to be associated with a label. Beyond that, I don't want to be expected to say everything that one group expects me to say. So that's why I like to be an independent. It's not oh, I don't like these people, I don't want to have anything to do with this person or that person. That's not really what it is. It's I don't want to be expected to say what this person or this person is saying, or to have to defend what this person or that person is saying or doing. Because frankly, a lot of my friends say and do things that I don't agree with or I don't care about. So I want to be able to have freedom, and that's part of why I stepped away from politics a little bit. The truth is, I really enjoy this, so I'm going to keep talking about it, but it's kind of hard for me to do that, especially when I've got especially when I've got so many friends in politics, and I feel a little bit like I have to go along with it, even though it's not like anyone expects you to. Someone is asking, who are my allies? My allies are myself. I don't expect anyone to be my allies are my friends. Someone is asking, if I work for Fox. No, I don't. I did at some point. Raymond says, why worry about what others think? It's your world. Everyone else is in it. I like that. Fan Rona says, both Republicans and Democrats have a tough time listening to indies. Thank you, Pat. All right, so I like to be able to say whatever I want and not be attacked by people on the right or people on the left or whatever. Someone is asking, am I lonely? No, the truth is that when you have your own identity, you're less lonely because you are your own person. You don't fade into what somebody else wants you to be or somebody else's identity. You're like real. You feel real, like a real person. And people have relationships with you as a real person. So, anyway, that's what it is. That's the story. Going back to Trump tweets. All right. So Yellin Omar goes, Yellin Omar and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Ayanna Pressley and Rashida Tlaib. So all these people are very much against ICE and Border Patrol. So they're very much, again, they've been very recently, especially with like the promise to deport a lot of people on Sunday, and it didn't actually happen, the ICE raids. These four women have been very vocal against ICE and against border control in general. And they have, Yellin Omar has, AOC has described the immigration law enforcement. She's described them as basically like Nazis running concentration camps. And Yellin Omar has asked for the ICE to be abolished completely. Yellin Omar says, this is what my constituents want. This is what the people in my district want. The people in Yellin Omar's district want for ICE to be abolished. Okay. So, basically, Yellin Omar is saying that in order to be a good American, she has to do what the people of her district say they want her to do. And the people of her district say they don't want a border. The people of her district say, we don't want a geographic line that says where America starts and begins. So basically, they don't want America. Open borders, anyone can come in and out, and anyone can seek asylum. Basically, that means no America, because when there's no border, you have no country. It's not a sovereign nation. So it's kind of interesting because she's not lying. She's saying that she's saying that she's serving her constituents. That's what a good American politician does. A good American politician serves her constituents. Her constituents apparently don't want American borders. So maybe the problem is not Yellin Omar. Maybe the problem is the system. It could very well be that Yellin Omar's constituents are largely also people who sought asylum or came in through a different way because of a skewed system. And not that people shouldn't seek asylum, not that there shouldn't be alternative ways to get in the country, but right now, in my opinion, I think the system is really, really disfavoring people who try really hard to get in the country, been trying for like years and years and years and years, and they can't get in the country. So the system is really sticking it in those people's faces. So anyway, oh gosh. So Richard Spencer goes on CNN to talk about Trump tweet. Trump tweeted, these people should go back where they came from, blah, 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 blah. Total catastrophe. They came from countries whose governments are total catastrophes. The worst, most corrupt and inept anywhere in the world. Even if they even have a functioning government at all, now loudly, viciously telling the people of the United States, the greatest and most powerful nation on earth, how our government is to be run. Why don't they go back and help fix totally broken and crime-infested places from which they came? Then come back and show us how, blah, 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 how it's done. Anyway, so basically Trump tells these 4 women to go back where they came from. So first of all, okay, Yellin Omar came from a different place. AOC comes from New York. She went to Boston University. Rashida Tlaib comes from, I don't know, Michigan or wherever. And I don't even know where Ayanna Pressley comes from. But so he says this thing. It's like a rah-rah. Go back to where you come from. And so CNN does like a whole segment criticizing Trump because CNN, obviously, and they bring Richard Spencer. And Richard Spencer criticizes Trump too. He says, CNN says, well, Trump is being racist. We don't like his tweets. He's being racist. Richard Spencer says, we don't like his tweets. He's not being racist enough. He's not being a real racist. Richard Spencer says that Trump, okay, let's see his quote over here. He says, many white nationalists will eat up this red meat that Donald Trump is throwing out there. I am not one of them. I recognize the con game that is going on. He gives us nothing outside of racist tweets, and by racist tweets I mean tweets that are meaningless and cheap and express the kind of sentiment you might hear from your drunk uncle while he's watching Hannity. So, basically, Richard Spencer is like, I'm a real white nationalist. I'm not like the other white nationalists, and I know I'm the real racist, and Trump is not being the real racist. Trump is not being real. He's just trying to show his supporters. But you know what? Richard Spencer is right in the sense that Trump does do a lot of this stuff, like the whole like ICE raid that was supposed to happen supposedly on Sunday. He does do a lot of stuff to try and get his base riled up without necessarily taking action. he does do a lot to try and show, to try and get, we're going to build a wall. It's been like 3 years. Where is the wall, I get that they're building it, but we should have been way past that. It shouldn't be so hard for the White House to, gather up some money to build a wall, if that's what they were actually going to do. So, yeah. That's it. That's a story about Richard Spencer and CNN. And anyway, I don't feel like talking about it anymore. Let's see what else is happening in the news. Planned Parenthood. Wow, Richard Spencer's trending. Richard Spencer's number 2 trend on Twitter. See, like, Yellin Omar is, like, should not be in Congress. But I just feel bad the way that people are just taking it out on her. The problem is not Yellin Omar. The problem is the system. Yellin Omar should not be in Congress. But there's a reason, like, if the system put you in Congress, you would do it too, right? Like, she's not the problem. She's not powerful enough to be like, oh, I'm going to take over America. She's not the problem. The problem is the system. I feel bad when I see people just like totally just like roasting her online and on television, and I don't know, I feel like she probably gets the most hate from all the other members of Congress. I really feel that, because everybody hates her because she's so unfit for Congress, but it shouldn't be taken out on her, in my opinion. Shouldn't be taken out on Yellin Omar. Joe says, ICE is out here in LA, not sure if they rounded up anyone. Yeah, I don't think ICE is actually going to round up people. I think a lot of it is, I agree with Richard Spencer that a lot of it is really just for Trump base. To show Trump's base, look, we're doing things. We will do things. We will probably do things. We will maybe do things. Mio says, your country always been racist and always will. Yeah, I've always been like, oh no, like racist is just a made up word, and, why, racist is a made up word, and why are, it's totally just to attack people. There's no such thing as real racist and all that stuff. I've always been of that mindset, but more lately, I do feel like we do have a lot of racists, and I don't think it should be like, you shouldn't be, I still am very pro-freedom, pro-free speech, pro-letting people do whatever the hell they want, hire whoever you want, I don't know, have whoever you want in your coffee shop. But yeah, there are a lot of racists. We do have a lot of racists. And you can have your opinion on it. It's gross. But I still want freedom. Alright, so that's like to say it very simply. Felix says, how many races are there, and what are the requirements to belong to a race? Yeah, it's very arbitrary. Yeah, I don't even think it's racism. I think it's just like ignorance. I don't know. And that's not even wrong. Like, I don't even think it's wrong. So you have a negative opinion about people. Is that wrong? Like, is it a crime to have a negative opinion about people? If I say all people with beards are just lizards, nasty lizards, and I hate all people with beards, if I say that, am I a criminal? No, I'm not a criminal for saying that all people with beards are nasty lizard people. Okay? So why should you say that people are criminals if they, or even bad people in any way, if they don't like other races? If they don't like Jews, are they a criminal? No. You don't like a group of people, you might be ignorant. You might be, you just don't know those people. You don't know, you lived in a box, you lived in a bubble, you grew up with this, like, belief system, and you just have no idea. And you have these opinions that you feel like maybe you should have, or everybody around you has, and you just have, like, or you just, I don't know, but it's not a crime, it's an opinion. It's something that you feel, and feelings change all the time. So I would much rather be sitting next to a racist than sitting next to a bad person. And when I say a bad person, I mean someone in my view is bad. I don't think racists are bad. I think racists are people with skewed opinions. I think people who are bad are people who lie, cheat, steal, are deceptive. I think people who are bad are people who are deceptive. The way that I see bad, good and bad. Bad is people who are deceptive. So I would rather be next to a dumb racist who just has dumb opinions because they've never seen a Middle Eastern woman in their entire life. I sat next to this woman on a plane one time. She was from, like, some random place in, like, Montana or something, and it was her, I think it was, like, her first or second time flying. And she thought I was a terrorist. And she told me, like, at the end of the flight, because I kept going to the bathroom, because I use the bathroom a lot. And so the whole time in the flight, she kept being, like, weird. She kept, like, trying to look at my phone and what's going on and whatever. And then at the end of it, she was like, oh, and this is why. Because she was asking me about my religion. And so I was like, oh, like, Jewish, or I grew up Jewish or whatever. And she was like, oh, thank heavens. I thought you were Muslim. I thought you were a terrorist. And I was just like, what? I don't know. So, like, there are people like that who just really have never, and it was her first time meeting someone like me. Her first time meeting, like, someone who's of Iranian origin, background. And I don't think, she was, like, a nice old lady. I don't think people are bad for having opinions or misconceptions about other people, or I don't know, people are constantly discovering, and in fact I want people to have weird opinions because that means that they're pushing the limits. How do you know that what you think is the right thing? Well, how do you know that it's good to not be racist? You don't know that. But anyway, in my view, I would rather be near someone who's a healthy person, meaning they're positive, they're happy, they're good to themselves, they're good to other people, they are honest, and they have racist opinions. But I would rather be around those people than around toxic people. And so someone just said, like, oh, well, you'll be the first one to go in the gas chambers and whatever. Okay, we'll talk about that when there are actual gas chambers, and this is actually a Nazi country. Despite what people are trying to make it sound like, despite what women in Congress are trying to make it sound like, this is not a Nazi country, and it's far from it. People being deported for being illegal immigrants, and this was actually happening more under Obama, People being deported for being in the country illegally is not the same as a government gassing citizens for not being the correct race. It's not the same at all. So systematically gassing citizens. So anyway, whatever. Anyway, that's it. This is nice. I really like Casey Neistat. Do you guys follow Casey Neistat? He's like a YouTuber. I really like it. It's just like this guy posts all sorts of things on his YouTube channel. Like, he just makes like all sorts of blogs and vlogs. And he just, they're just so random, and I love it. I love random vlogs. I want to do them myself, but I'm just so inexperienced. Like, I did one about Pride, and it was fun, but it was so amateur. It was like a child. Jesus says that I'm a great American and that he would vote for me. You would vote for me? What should I do? Well, what should I run for? I would probably never want to run for office because it's like, so I'm such a little child when it comes to these things. I do not want to be involved in any way with anything that's going to get me, make me a target of anything. Okay, so we're going to go now. It's been about a half an hour. Oliver D says you can be like Casey, just do coke. Just do some coke, ride a skateboard. That let you either be Casey or Beto. Okay, I'm gonna learn to ride a skateboard. Okay, one last question before I go. What do you want to see next? I did a poll today. And this, by the way, this live stream right here is experimental. It's for me to see where all of you are at, what my audience wants. I've been trying to weed out a little bit of like the people who are there only for politics, just because I don't want that to be everything that I do. I want to be able to talk about whatever I talk about and joke about whatever I joke about. I don't want to be like a political pundit. So I've been trying to weed out a lot of like the people who are here just for politics. But I still want to know what you guys want. Today I did a tweet. Do you want more politics? Do you want less politics? Or do you want both? So basically, like half of my followers want both. Approximately 50%. And then from the rest of those followers, half want more politics, half want less politics. So that's why, and the thing is that actually I want the same things that you guys all want, which is, things are related to politics. So I still am going to talk about politics, but it's not going to be my focus. And I get to talk about whatever I want. So that won't be my focus, but I still will dabble in it. And Griff O'Neill says helps to be informed. Do not get your information from me, because I'm not here to give you information. I'm just here to joke around and just, I don't know, kick my feet up and just blab. So subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're watching this on YouTube. Like this video, heart it on Periscope, and go ahead and follow me on Instagram, because Instagram is where I've been posting a lot of TikTok videos, and they're so much fun. I freaking love these videos. So go ahead and find me on TikTok or find me on Instagram and look at my Instagram stories. And I think you'll enjoy it. All right, see you all tomorrow night.